I want to love you everywhere your breath catches, exploring every inch of you with a hunger that feels like worship. I want to love you everywhere. Your pulse rises, letting my presence become the rhythm your body responds to. I want to love you everywhere you feel vulnerable, turning those delicate places into the ones you cherish most. I want to love you everywhere. Desire has been waiting quietly, awakening the parts of you that forgot how to want. I want to love you everywhere your thoughts drift. When you're lonely, becoming the comfort you crave without asking. I want to love you everywhere the world ignored, reminding you that every part of you deserves attention. I want to love you everywhere you've ever been touched wrong, rewriting your memory with tenderness and fire. I want to love you everywhere your shyness hides, coaxing out the side of you that only appears for someone you trust. I want to love you everywhere your confidence lives, celebrating the power you hold without even realizing it. I want to love you everywhere your emotions overflow, catching every drop so you never feel like you're too much. I want to love you everywhere your loneliness whispered your name, answering it with warmth instead of silence. I want to love you everywhere your fantasies live, not just hearing them, fulfilling the ones you never dared speak. I want to love you everywhere time has made you tense, loosening every knot with patience and desire. I want to love you everywhere. The night feels the deepest, turning darkness into intimacy instead of distance. I want to love you everywhere. Your heartbeat hides its truth, listening until I understand every unspoken need. I want to love you everywhere your insecurities breathe, softening them with a love that doesn't question your worth. I want to love you everywhere your fire sleeps, awakening the passion you've been holding back. I want to love you everywhere your hope flickers, protecting that glow until it becomes a flame again. I want to love you everywhere you've been misunderstood, showing you a connection that finally makes sense. I want to love you everywhere your innocence still lingers, treating it like the rare, fragile beauty it is. I want to love you everywhere. Your body tightens with anticipation, learning the language of your desire with devotion. I want to love you everywhere your past left shadows, gently replacing each one with warmth and trust. I want to love you everywhere your truth trembles, encouraging you to show me the parts that terrify you the most. I want to love you everywhere your voice has cracked from holding too much, turning your pain into softness again. I want to love you everywhere your longing hides, bringing it into the light without judgment or hesitation. I want to love you everywhere your sweetness lives, savoring the parts of you others never cared to notice. I want to love you everywhere your wildness is waiting, drawing it out until you remember how powerful your passion is. I want to love you everywhere. Your soul aches for connection, meeting you exactly where you feel most alone. I want to love you everywhere your heart broke, easing the places that learn to fear closeness. I want to love you everywhere your strength lives, honoring the resilience that kept you going, even in silence. I want to love you everywhere your dreams were denied, helping you rebuild the desires life tried to dim. I want to love you everywhere your spirit hides its softness, reminding you that it's safe to surrender. I want to love you everywhere your body feels forgotten, bringing attention to every inch until you feel alive again. I want to love you everywhere your passion pulses, following it like a map to the deepest parts of you. I want to love you everywhere your tension gathers, melting it with slow, patient warmth. I want to love you everywhere your innocence meets desire, witnessing the moment they merge inside you. I want to love you everywhere your breath trembles, steadying it with my presence against your skin. I want to love you everywhere you ache to be understood, giving you the emotional steadying you've needed. I want to love you everywhere your kisses linger, pulling you into a closeness that feels like home. I want to love you everywhere your cravings grow, feeding them with a connection you've never tasted before. I want to love you everywhere your body calls me, answering with devotion instead of hesitation. I want to love you everywhere your soul hides its wounds, soothing them with affection instead of pity. I want to love you everywhere life made you numb, reawakening feelings you thought you had lost. I want to love you everywhere your fear whispers, don't trust, proving gently that this time is different. I want to love you everywhere your passion waits to be unwrapped, peeling back each layer with reverence. I want to love you everywhere, on your skin, in your silence, inside your fears, between your breaths, until every part of you feels chosen. I want to love you everywhere, especially in the places you hide from the world, the corners of your heart you think no one could ever understand. I want to love you everywhere, not just the parts you show me, but the fragile ones you're afraid to reveal, the ones begging to be held. I want to love you everywhere, where your insecurities whisper, where your doubts echo, where your heart still remembers pain. I want to love you everywhere you've been broken, tracing every scar with patience until it forgets it ever hurt. I want to love you everywhere your mind goes when it overthinks, reminding you gently that you're safe with me. I want to love you everywhere, even in the silence between your words, where your truest truths are hiding. I want to love you everywhere your soul trembles, until the shaking becomes trust and the fear melts into warmth. I want to love you everywhere, even in the storms you've learned to survive alone, pulling you close until you no longer feel alone. I want to love you everywhere your loneliness hides, filling every empty space with the comfort you've been craving. I want to love you everywhere your past has bruised you, showing you that tenderness can be powerful too. I want to love you everywhere your walls rise, not by forcing them down, but by earning the moment you let me in. I want to love you everywhere, the parts you're proud of and the parts you're still learning to forgive. I want to love you everywhere. Your heartbeat quickens, reminding you how good it feels to be wanted softly. I want to love you everywhere your mind wanders at night, becoming the peace you seek when you can't sleep. I want to love you everywhere your body whispers for connection, responding to every unspoken desire with devotion. I want to love you everywhere you ache, turning your wounds into chapters of healing instead of pain. I want to love you everywhere. You deserve a love that doesn't choose only the perfect angles, but the truth of you. I want to love you everywhere your shadows linger, lighting them gently without ever judging them. I want to love you everywhere you've felt misunderstood, giving you the clarity and softness you were denied. I want to love you everywhere because you deserve someone who doesn't stop when the surface ends. I want to love you everywhere, especially in the chaos of your thoughts, where love is needed most. I want to love you everywhere your courage hides, helping you uncover the confidence buried beneath doubt. I want to love you everywhere, even in the messiness of who you are, because that's where the real beauty lives. I want to love you everywhere your tears have fallen, replacing each memory with something gentler. I want to love you everywhere, giving your heart space to unfold without fear of being mishandled. I want to love you everywhere your voice shakes, reminding you that vulnerability is not weakness. I want to love you everywhere because love isn't just a place. It's an all-consuming devotion to every part of you. I want to love you everywhere, not just to please your body, but to understand your soul's language. I want to love you everywhere you crave to be noticed, listened to, and held like you matter. I want to love you everywhere, especially the soft spots you protect, because that's where intimacy begins. I want to love you everywhere. Your hope flickers, feeding it until it becomes a flame again. I want to love you everywhere, even where you've taught yourself to stay guarded. I want to love you everywhere your dreams live, being the one who believes in them with you. I want to love you everywhere that feels unreachable, proving that nothing about you is too far. I want to love you everywhere your soul whispers secrets, trusting me with the stories you've never told. I want to love you everywhere you felt unseen, giving you the presence you were starved of. I want to love you everywhere, because loving only parts of you would never be enough for me. I want to love you everywhere your truth aches to be touched, gently breaking the silence. I want to love you everywhere your heart locked away its innocence so it can breathe again. I want to love you everywhere you've been abandoned, anchoring you in a love that stays. I want to love you everywhere, not just when life is sweet, but in the moments that feel impossible. I want to love you everywhere your passion hides, awakening what you've been afraid to feel. I want to love you everywhere you tremble, steadying you with the warmth of someone who truly sees you. I want to love you everywhere. Your trust feels fragile, holding it gently like it's sacred. I want to love you everywhere your desires whisper, turning each one into a language we both understand.